It's a rare occurrence to witness a couple vanish without a trace, especially when coupled with the absence of information regarding their disappearance and some peculiar details. The narrative surrounding the Dwyer family becomes increasingly suspicious. Known by acquaintances as a delightful and sociable couple, Conor and Sheila resided in a modest home on Chapel Hill in the town of Fermoy, situated in County Cork, Ireland. Raising two sons, Jerry and Conor Jr., the Dwyers saw their children establish their own families in the UK. Despite maintaining a respectful distance from one another, the siblings infrequently visited their parents and seldom communicated. Conor Sr., a versatile individual often referred to as a jack of all trades, took on roles such as a builder, plumber, and cab driver throughout his career. At one point, he served as the personal driver for German millionaire Fritz Wolff during his relocation to Ireland. Sheila, Conor's wife, assumed the role of a traditional housewife and home caretaker. Although trained as an accountant, she had ceased working in recent years. Described as a quiet and polite individual who maintained a meticulous appearance, Sheila stood in contrast to Conor, who was known for his wit, humor, and penchant for telling jokes. At the time of their mysterious disappearance, the couple, both in their 60s, had been on the verge of retirement, eagerly anticipating the opportunity to embrace a joyous old age together. The day before. In the days preceding the couple's disappearance, there were no discernible signs of anything untoward. On April 30, 1991, they were observed attending a memorial service at St. Patrick's Church in Fermoy. Notably, this church is situated within a short distance, less than 100 meters, from their residence on Chapel Hill. Eyewitnesses who encountered Sheila and Conor on that day failed to detect any peculiarities in their behavior, aside from Conor appearing more solemn than usual, potentially attributed to the funeral of an acquaintance. Catherine Fenton, their immediate neighbor, observed the Dwyers leaving the church and engaged in hushed conversation. The following day, on May 1, Sheila's sisters, Macy and Nellie, had a telephone conversation with her. Like others, they noted her voice was calm and tranquil. However, a sudden and drastic shift in circumstances occurred shortly thereafter. Disappearance. While the children, engrossed in their professional pursuits and families, paid scant attention to their parents' affairs, the sisters maintained a close bond with Sheila, calling her 1-2 times a week. A week elapsed without Sheila initiating contact or responding to Macy and Nellie's attempts to reach her via the home phone. Initially unconcerned, as more time passed, first 10 days, then 20, they grew increasingly apprehensive, prompting them to raise the alarm. Conor's absence went unnoticed due to his involvement in freelance private driving in recent months. Nevertheless, on May 22, 1991, 3 weeks after the last conversation with her sister, Macy reported the couple's disappearance to the Irish police. The search. Upon entering the house, the police discovered no apparent signs of foul play. The residence maintained immaculate order, with even Sheila's reading glasses meticulously positioned on the sofa's armrest, in keeping with her routine. A packet of cookies lay untouched on the same couch, implying that no one had indulged in them. The wardrobe held undisturbed clothing, and the refrigerator was well stocked with groceries. In the course of their search, the police stumbled upon £1,000 sterling in cash, an amount consistent with the usual stash kept at home as confirmed by relatives. All other savings belonging to the couple remained untouched in their bank account, with no recent withdrawals. Upon the arrival of the Dwyers' children and other relatives, a consensus emerged that nothing was amiss in the house, except for the absence of the couple and their white Toyota Cressida. When did they disappear? Determining the timeline of their disappearance posed a baffling challenge for the family and acquaintances. The Dwyers had been law-abiding citizens with no connections to individuals of questionable character. Compounding the mystery, there was no precise information regarding the timing of their disappearance. Groceries might have held the key, but the couple typically purchased items by weight, lacking discernible production dates. The presence of stale bread and sour milk hinted at an absence of at least a week, yet pinning down a more exact date remained an elusive task. Coincidence or no coincidence? Fermoy, then and now, stands as a small town where disappearances are infrequent. However, just a year or so prior to the Dwyer couple's vanishing act, a strikingly similar incident occurred involving 53-year-old William "Billy" Fennessy in the same town. Billy worked as a carpenter at a local funeral agency, crafting coffins, and was also a candidate for the Labour Party councillor. Notably, Fennessy resided less than 3 kilometers away from the Dwyer home. Married to Noreen for 3 decades, Billy's mysterious absence on March 31, 1990, left his wife bewildered. A mere hour before disappearing, he had called Noreen, requesting his favorite onion soup for dinner. Despite a thorough search, no traces of Billy or his car emerged. Noreen diligently visited the police every Friday in a quest for information about her missing husband, yet her efforts proved futile. In 1997, Noreen, relinquishing hope of Billy's survival, agreed to have him officially declared deceased. Remarkably, she never ceased contemplating his fate. As it turns out, the mystery surrounding Billy Fennessy would eventually be partially unraveled, but more on that will be revealed later. These unexplained disappearances cast an unsettling shadow over the residents of Fermoy, leading some to harbor a sense that something ominous lurked in their midst. The town earned the moniker North Cork Triangle as a testament to these unsettling occurrences. The search continues. Just as in Fennessy's case, an extensive search and inquiry among residents across Ireland were initiated following the disappearance of the Dwyer couple. Authorities also meticulously inspected all ferries, exploring the possibility that the couple might have traveled to the UK to visit their sons. Despite these efforts, no trace of the couple or their car was unearthed, giving the impression that they had vanished without a trace. However, in line with the typical nature of such cases, multiple reports surfaced, suggesting sightings of the Dwyers in various parts of Ireland, and even around the world following their disappearance. Several examples include a Fermoy resident acquainted with the Dwyers, asserting that he spotted them sitting in a car at a traffic light about a week after their reported disappearance. Despite honking at them, they ignored him and hastily drove away. Another witness, Irish-born Mary O'Dowd, claimed to have seen the Dwyers at the airport in Lourdes, France in June 1991. Intrigued by the man's suspicious and nervous demeanor, she eventually recognized him as Conor Dwyer, accompanied by Sheila closely trailing behind. Similar accounts emerged from witnesses in Waterford and Dublin. Another individual recounted encountering the Dwyers in Munich in 1993. Nevertheless, the Irish police, scrutinizing the available evidence, have yet to substantiate any of these reported sightings. A break in the case? Due to a lack of evidence, the investigation into this peculiar disappearance endured a nearly 2-decade hiatus. However, in 2013, a startling event unfolded, leaving both the residents of Fermoy and the police astonished. The setting was the Blackwater River, coursing through the counties of Kerry, Cork, and Waterford. Despite its relatively short length of 170 kilometers, the river's robust current created deep pockets in certain sections. On the fateful day, the Blackwater Sub-Aqua Search and Rescue Team, engaged in practice dives below Kent Bridge, inadvertently stumbled upon a car submerged in the river at a depth of 3.5 meters. The car, concealed beneath silt, was nearly entirely concealed. Upon retrieval, human remains were discovered inside the car. DNA analysis confirmed that the vehicle harbored none other than William Fennessy, missing for 23 years. Despite the recovery of his remains, the circumstances surrounding Fennessy's disappearance and demise remain perplexing. Whether he lost control of his vehicle or intentionally drove into the river, the question lingered. How did the car end up nearly in the middle of the river? Negotiating the bridge seemed implausible due to the presence of guardrails, and even a formidable current, no matter its strength, could not transport a car to the river's center. Adding to the mystery, the Blackwater River had undergone thorough surveys at that location, both at the time of Fennessy's disappearance and during the search for the Dwyers. Yet Fennessy's car remained undiscovered until 23 years later. The police, while unable to provide a definitive answer, proposed that the river bottom is constantly changing, and at that point, the car may have been entirely concealed in the silt. The North Cork Triangle. Following the resolution of the mystery surrounding William Fennessy's disappearance, discussions about the North Cork Triangle somewhat dwindled. However, there remained an absence of any sign or fresh leads concerning the whereabouts of the Dwyers. The question persisted: where could the Dwyers have vanished? Before drawing conclusions, it's worth noting an intriguing yet unverified piece of information that should be approached with caution. There is speculation that Conor Dwyer experienced a disappearance lasting almost an entire year in the early 1980s, only to reappear suddenly. This information was never mentioned in police press releases, and none of the couple's relatives have spoken about it. The authenticity of this claim is challenging to ascertain. However, if true, it raises the possibility that the Dwyers intentionally chose to disappear without a trace. In contemplating the fate of the Dwyers, my inclination leans toward the possibility that they are long gone. The notion of Conor falling ill during their journey, leading to an inadvertent drive into a river or wilderness, seems plausible. However, comprehensive searches of every body of water and ravine in the vicinity yielded no results, except for the enigmatic case of Fennessy. The idea of suicide could explain a sudden disappearance, but it lacks credence among the Dwyer sisters, acquaintances, and myself. Sheila and Conor harbored dreams of retirement, and if they wished to leave, they could have done so openly, without clandestine actions. The abrupt nature of their trip is evident from their lack of belongings and the open packet of cookies left on the couch, implying an intention to return. Presently, discussions surrounding the Dwyers' disappearance are scarce. Even years after the event, townspeople seem reluctant to engage in conversations about the case. Conor Jr., the couple's son, who one might assume would be eager to publicize the matter extensively, chose to speak to the press only once. "I don't know where they are. It keeps me up at night," were the son's restrained words. While this might be construed as a hint that the children were involved, the police dismissed this theory. Jerry and Conor Jr. had not visited Ireland for over 6 months before their parents' disappearance and had lost contact with them for several months. The disappearance of Conor and Sheila Dwyer remains as perplexing as it is disconcerting, compounded by the scarcity of evidence and clues. The discovery of their car would undoubtedly be a breakthrough in the investigation, but it remains elusive. After attending a funeral mass, it appears as though the couple evaporated, leaving behind a true family secret that may forever elude resolution. I hope you liked this story. Please don't forget to leave a comment sharing with your thoughts below. Give a thumbs up this video and remember to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more captivating stories. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey, and we'll see you in the next video.